Hello, this is Rusky Ed, and lesson number 38 on Russian nouns will begin in a matter of seconds.
You want to learn Russian but think it's too tough, too confusing and all that stuff. Funny looking letters, what's that you said? It's time to learn Russian with Rusky Ed.
Today our topic of discussion is tools, and the Russian word for tools is instrumenti. Now most of us keep our smaller tools in a toolbox, and the Russian way of saying toolbox is ящик для инструментов. Ящик для инструментов. So we keep the instrumenti in the ящик для инструментов. One of the most common tools which most people have around the house, of course, is the hammer. And the Russian word for a hammer is молоток. Молоток means hammer in Russian. Молоток. Another tool you might happen to have is the wrench. And interestingly, the word for wrench and the word for key is the same. And that word would be ключ. And of course, the screwdriver is yet another tool that most people have. And the Russian word for screwdriver is отвертка. Отвертка. And of course, most people have some sort of a saw in their toolbox. And the Russian word for saw is pila. Pila means saw. Now, there are some tools that you do not keep in the toolbox. One such tool is the shovel. And the Russian word for shovel is lopata. Lopata. You go dig stuff up with the lopata, shovel. Another large tool like the shovel is the rake. And the Russian word for rake is grabli. Grabli. Rake. And very similar to the rake, of course, is the broom. And the Russian word for broom is metla. Metla. Broom. Broom. Phrases. It is now time for our phrases. Our first phrase is the Russian way of saying rake leaves. And you say rake leaves in Russian, skribats listya. Skribats listya. Our second Russian phrase for the day is mesti pol, which means sweep the floor. Mesti pol. And so that is lesson number 38. This is Rusky Ed signing out now with До свидания.
It's time to learn Russian with Rusky Ed.